Floyd, you made 230, and I get it, Skip. I can just imagine getting a check for $230 million. Like, hold on, I ain't see I, R, or S in that ring taking no blows, and I'm supposed to send them. Yep, you're supposed to send them their cut. That's the way it works. And what's so disappointing with me, Skip? Floyd Mayweather has gone through this before. What is it that you don't get? And I'm even more disappointed because you're on Instagram and on Twitter flaunting your.
Is Mayweather broke? Are y'all new here?
Yeah.
Is he broke?
Yeah.
He's broke.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharpe has never held back when it comes to criticizing Floyd Mayweather's spending habits and public image. Floyd has built his entire brand around being rich. He even calls himself Money Mayweather. He's known for constantly showing off his luxury lifestyle, from stacks of cash to fancy cars, expensive watches, private jets, and massive homes. But lately, Shannon has been pushing back, raising some tough questions about Floyd's finances. He's asked things like, if you really have that much money, why do you feel the need to constantly prove it? And why pretend to buy things you might not actually be able to afford?
Nacho?
No,
what do you make of it?
No, I don't like it. Skip, the man has made over $500 million.
$500 million?
In his last 3 fights. You're 50-0. You said you want to retire at 50-0. You said this was the last. Skip, I watched him be talking to Stephen A. Says, I'm done. I ain't coming back for no amount of money. I'm done. Come on, man. Come on, Floyd. This should be beneath you.
If Floyd Mayweather really has the kind of money he claims, there wouldn't be a need to show it off all the time. True wealth doesn't shout, it's calm, solid, and doesn't need to be constantly proven. But Shannon Sharpe has been quick to point out that Floyd's flashy lifestyle doesn't always match up with reality. According to Shannon, Mayweather's image might be more about appearances than actual financial stability. One of Shannon's biggest concerns is the ongoing contradictions. Floyd talks like he's untouchable when it comes to money, throwing out figures in the hundreds of millions and constantly flashing his cash. But then there are real reports saying otherwise. That we've seen claims that Floyd owes the IRS millions, that he's dealing with debt, and even that he was recently stuck in another country because of gambling-related issues. These aren't just rumors, they are backed by real reports and serious conversations.
So the money's really gone? Yeah, that's what you think. It's get the money, spend the money. All that money. Yeah, it took been 2 years. So is it just his overhead is so high on a day-to-day, month-to-month? Like I don't even want to talk about it. Like with the lifestyle, that money's gone. Trust me. Now it's like you call him, he'll be at your local host in a nightclub because you need that action right now.
Reports say Floyd owes back taxes, and not only that, he's even asked for extra time to make those payments. That raises a serious question. How does someone who claims to have unlimited money need an extension to pay the IRS? Now, it's not the fact that he has debt, that's normal, even for the wealthy. The issue is the double standard. You can't be posting photos sitting on stacks of cash, bragging about your net worth, and then turn around and delay your tax payments. That's exactly what Shannon Sharpe is calling out. If Floyd really has the kind of money he shows off, paying taxes on time shouldn't be a problem. It's not just about money, it's about accountability. And for Shannon, it's one of the biggest red flags in Floyd's financial story.
It gets worse. Your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. I hate seeing this happen, bro. As I've always said, it's hard to make money, but it's even harder to keep it. Floyd.
And it's not just the tax situation that has Shannon Sharpe speaking out. Floyd built his entire identity around being rich, claiming to have earned hundreds of millions over the years. But to Shannon, there's a sense of desperation behind Floyd's actions. Take his exhibition fights, for example. This has been a major sticking point. Floyd continues to step into the ring, not against top-tier fighters, but against influencers and lesser-known opponents. It doesn't seem like he's chasing greatness anymore. It looks more like he's chasing a paycheck, and that, according to Shannon, is a big warning sign. If Floyd is truly financially secure, why keep fighting in matches that don't mean much in the boxing world? To Shannon, it raises doubts about how solid Floyd's finances really are.
Yeah, as you often say, you're just a guy with a job. I have a job, though. So who would you fight next?
And guess what? Your job don't pay like my job.
Well, it depends.
Your job don't pay like my job.
That brings me to another point.
Why are you coming back? I can make $200 million in 18 months because I want to. Because I want to come back and steal some more money. Is that okay with you?
It's fine.
Okay,
I enjoy watching your fights.
Okay.
Who might be next?
Floyd's been in the game long enough to know when to step away. But he keeps coming back, not for the love of boxing, but because he needs the money and the spotlight. It's no longer about the sport, it's about staying relevant and keeping up appearances. Shannon Sharpe has called this out time and again. He says Floyd's actions go against what real wealth is all about. True financial stability doesn't need constant validation. It doesn't need to be shown off every day. And it definitely doesn't depend on public approval. Instead of focusing on building lasting wealth or setting an example for others, Floyd seems more invested in maintaining an image, a lifestyle that may not be as secure as it seems. And that, in Shannon's eyes, is the real concern, not how much Floyd has today, but how long it's going to last.
Money made all day. You know, right here, a light million. Over there, counting up another million over there. Walk with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take you into my life. So Andrew Jackson, of course, is on the 20.
It's not just Shannon Sharpe who's raising eyebrows, others in the boxing world are frustrated too. These are people who've been around long enough to see how the money flows in this sport, and more importantly, how it disappears if you're not smart with it. Promoter Eddie Hearn has openly questioned Floyd's finances, saying the numbers just don't add up. And Hearn would know, he's been deep in the business side of boxing for years. So when he suggests Floyd might not be as wealthy as he claims, it carries weight. Joe Rogan has also chimed in. He pointed out that Floyd's habit of jumping into exhibition fights just for a quick payday doesn't really match up with the lifestyle of someone who's financially set. If Floyd truly had hundreds of millions locked down, why take on low-stakes fights that don't add anything to his legacy? Just a paycheck. The question keeps coming back to the same point. If the money's really there, why does he keep risking his name and health for fights that don't matter?
Yeah. Of boxing.
Just also
like
money.
Just like but I don't even think he don't need any money. He
spends so much money.
Yeah, but he don't need any. Floyd,
are you sure?
Yeah, Floyd good.
I bet if he's playing for the future, you got to keep it coming in if you're going to keep spending the way he spends.
Yeah, but I think he has a lot of other business interests that he can get money from.
Hopefully.
And not just boxing. But it's the drug of getting Floyd still trying.
Mike Tyson, who's been through his own financial ups and downs, also weighed in on Floyd's approach to wealth. Tyson suggested that Floyd should focus more on enjoying his life rather than constantly proving how much money he's made, but Shannon Sharpe doesn't fully agree with Tyson's view. For Shannon, it's not just about enjoying the wealth, it's about how you handle it. Tyson may think Floyd should just enjoy the ride, but Shannon sees someone who's too focused on keeping up appearances instead of planning for his future. For Tyson, the main issue is Floyd calling himself the greatest, but for Shannon, it's about how Floyd's actions don't match that title.
Chavez, he was 84-0, right?
89, 90 and 0 before he lost.
89 and 0.
Wow.
So it's
Don't tell me about you the greatest fight with 50 and 0, nigga. You're great, no doubt about it, nigga. 50 and 0. Chavez had 90.
Yeah.
He's fighting like what, 8 times a year.
Yeah, it's more
against whoever fought him. Whoever's in the ranking.
Well, I think it's all subjective.
Picking whoever you are, come on.
I think there are more metrics and more measurements.
Floyd Mayweather may be living large, but Shannon Sharpe's point is that it's all for show. Floyd's lifestyle doesn't match up with someone who's truly set for life. One of the things that sparked the latest round of criticism was Floyd's claim about buying luxury apartments in Manhattan. Floyd posted on social media, boasting that he had just bought several apartments in one of the world's most expensive areas. He made it sound like he was making big moves in real estate, adding more to his growing empire. But the truth came out later, Floyd didn't actually own the apartments. It turned out to be just another attempt to keep up the image of a real estate mogul, even though the facts didn't support his story.
Yeah, yeah. You don't point like this because we're in New York City right now. We're in Manhattan. That's what we do.
This only added to the growing criticism that Floyd cares more about pretending to be rich than actually making smart financial decisions. For Shannon Sharpe, this stunt is exactly what he's been warning about. It's not about the money, it's about the show. Floyd is selling an illusion, one where he's always on top, always in control. But the truth doesn't line up with the story he's telling the world.
And you see that he's lying and fraud, and when you look into his paperwork, everybody say the paperwork's still into the person's name who owned it. So he going around fraud and taking false pictures. They say.
Problem is that Floyd's public image relies so heavily on this narrative of being untouchable, the guy who's made it, always in the winner's circle. But as more comes to light about his financial struggles, his questionable claims, and his constant need for validation, it starts to look like Floyd's wealth might be built on shaky ground. The more the facade cracks, the harder it becomes to ignore. Floyd may want to be seen as the ultimate success story, but the cracks are starting to show. Whether it's his tax issues, the sketchy exhibition fights, or the lies about those luxury apartments, the image of Floyd Mayweather as the king of money is starting to look a lot less secure than he wants the world to believe.
You know what's crazy? People are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing, what Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know.
Shannon Sharpe isn't speaking out because he's jealous or trying to bring Floyd down. He's just calling it how he sees it. And what he sees is someone who's wasted a real opportunity. Floyd could have been the perfect example of how to turn boxing success into lasting financial freedom. He could have used his platform to teach others how to build wealth, make smart investments, and create something that lasts. Instead, he's stuck in a cycle of flashy moments and quick paydays. Floyd had the chance to build a legacy that went beyond boxing, but instead, he's built a brand around wealth that's starting to look emptier with every passing day. To Shannon, that's the real tragedy. Not that Floyd isn't rich, but that he could have done so much more with his success than just flaunt it for the cameras.
Into late 40s now, still fighting with these random people in random places.
Yeah.
For 5 million here, 10 million there.
No, he's just a big spender. You can't spend like that, you know? Like,
this guy has a lot of chains.
so many chains, bro. Chains, that's a depreciating asset. Get yourself something.
Criticism of Floyd Mayweather's financial situation has been growing louder, and it's coming from some unexpected places. One of those voices is Stephen A. Smith, a longtime fan of Mayweather, who didn't hold back when he spoke out on his ESPN show. He delivered a statement that shook the very foundation of Floyd's public image. "I'm deeply disappointed in one of my all-time favorite fighters," Stephen A. said. "My brother Floyd Mayweather." This wasn't just a hot take or a headline grab, it came from a place of genuine concern and confusion. Stephen A. asked, "Is his daily and monthly overhead so high that the money is just gone?" And then he added the chilling line, "Trust me, it's gone. Now if you call him, he'll be hosting at your local nightclub because he needs that action right now." It was a stunning moment. Stephen A. wasn't speaking out of hate or criticism, he was speaking from the heart of someone who has watched Floyd rise to the top, only to now question whether he's unknowingly falling. That's not hate, that's heartbreak.
Which is why I sit here with sadness today to report to you that I'm incredibly disappointed in one of my all-time favorite fighters, my brother, Floyd Money Mayweather.
Adding to the controversy, Floyd Mayweather's extravagant lifestyle continues to make headlines. During the 2024 Super Bowl weekend in Las Vegas, he reportedly spent over $1 million on a luxury suite at Allegiant Stadium, along with making a large bet on the game. While these kinds of displays of wealth fit his public image, they also raise serious questions about his financial priorities and whether his spending habits are sustainable. These ongoing criticisms from various figures in the sports world reveal a growing sense of skepticism about Mayweather's financial claims. While he continues to project an image of success and wealth, the lack of solid evidence and the presence of dispute suggest that his financial story might not be as secure as he wants the world to believe.
Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharpe's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard. I know life is expensive. But come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse, your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. I hate seeing
Floyd Mayweather's legacy as one of the greatest fighters of this generation is facing more scrutiny than ever, not just because of the caliber of opponents he fought or avoided, but because he's slowly becoming a symbol of what happens when unchecked ego, reckless spending, and legal issues begin to take a toll on more than just your bank account. But it's no longer just about money, it's about value, relevance, authenticity, and legacy. And that's what Floyd is quietly losing in real time, even though the headlines continue to chase his name.
Money made, money made, money made all day. You know, right here, a light million. Over there, counting up another million over there. Walk with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take you into my life. So Andrew Jackson, of course, is on the 20.
Many modern fighters have in their whole bodies. Put it simply, Floyd Mayweather isn't the greatest, not even close. And it wasn't just a jab, it was his perspective. Tony knows what it's like to fight in an era where champions didn't handpick opponents to pad their resume. They fought through real battles, facing legends in their primes. Tony didn't see Floyd doing that. Instead, he saw someone who played the timing game, waiting out the dangerous fighters, capitalizing on calculated risks, and focusing more on marketing than on taking real, raw challenges. Take Julio Cesar Chavez, one of the most feared fighters in his prime. Floyd never faced him. Same goes for Shane Mosley, Oscar de la Hoya, and Miguel Cotto. He fought all of them when they were past their prime. Floyd may have built a perfect record, but he protected it like it was made of glass.
Yeah, right.
I came up under the best.
Yeah, this has all been a very smart marketing play. I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I went down to see your mate Conor McGregor fight Floyd Mayweather, and it was a fascinating thing to watch.
Yeah.
I never actually thought he could beat Floyd Mayweather, but
he did great.
But for a few rounds, he went toe-to-toe with him, and it was really interesting to watch.
He did really
and it was a massive success.
When guys like James Toney call out Floyd's career, it strikes a nerve because it's not about jealousy. Tony's legacy doesn't depend on Mayweather's approval. He fought and beat some of the most dangerous fighters of his time. It's not hate, either. It's boxing IQ, calling out the smoke and mirrors world Floyd helped create, the same world now churning out TikTok fights, YouTube spectacles, and pay-per-view gimmicks. The problem now isn't just about what Floyd didn't do back then, it's about what he's still doing today. The constant stream of exhibition matches, the cringe-worthy press conferences, the wild rumors like a potential fight with Rio Ferdinand, it all reeks of desperation. Even when wrapped in designer clothes, Floyd claims these fights are just for fun, that he's choosing to fight, not needing to. But how many times can a man say he's rich before people start wondering if he's trying to cover something up?
Some may make 10 or 20 million, but I'm doing exhibitions and I'm making 20, 25 million, 100 million for exhibitions. So why would I come back and fight and get a guaranteed 35 million when I'm doing exhibitions and getting 100 million?
That's the question many are quietly asking. Is Floyd Mayweather still as rich as he claims, or is the money just part of a facade to keep his house of cards from falling? Joe Rogan didn't hold back when he raised this point on his podcast. He called out Floyd's spending habits, from million-dollar watches to his obsession with maintaining a billionaire persona. Rogan straight up said it, the money has to keep coming in because the lifestyle isn't slowing down. That kind of living doesn't support itself unless the income is constant. And that's why you're seeing Floyd take these low-risk, high-money exhibition fights against lesser opponents. It's not about competition, it's about keeping the lights on. Like 50 Cent said, get rich or die trying, but in Floyd's case, it's more about staying rich, no matter what.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, limited edition AP, all factory, 1.8 million right here. The $20 bills section. We like to call this the Andrew Jackson section, but I like to call it wallpaper. 200,000 in 20s. I heard in the store you can get the biggest Chanel bag in the store if you want it. Well, it's the biggest Chanel bag in the...
This is a man living paycheck to paycheck. A man who had to ask the IRS for a delay on a $22 million tax bill after the Pacquiao fight. A man who had to defend himself against federal charges for undisclosed crypto promotions. A man who still hasn't fully paid Logan Paul for their exhibition match. And yet, he still claims he makes $20 to $30 million for every non-sanctioned sparring session against influencers. If that were true, why haven't those court issues disappeared? Why does he keep having to remind everyone just how rich he is, over and over again?
It's Money May, Aaron Mayweather 2. Go Money Green on him. Change it up. Change it up. Change it up. That's what we do. There you go. There you go. There you go. That's what we did. I need everybody, all the fighters all around the world. MMA, boxers, follow this man right here. We get the job done. Money May, and y'all know the rest.
People who are truly secure in their wealth and legacy don't feel the need to talk like that. Floyd Mayweather doesn't just want to be rich, he wants to be seen as rich, unstoppably, untouchably rich. The problem is, the more he chases that image, the more artificial it becomes. The value isn't in the dollar amount anymore, it's in how people perceive him. And that perception is starting to crack. The respect Floyd once commanded in the sport isn't slipping because he lost a fight, it's slipping because he's turning his name into a circus. Real people in the sport, guys like James Toney, Joe Rogan, and even Canelo, are seeing through it. They know the difference between building a brand and hiding behind one. The Mayweather brand used to be about hard work and dedication. Now it's about selfies, private jets, and auctioning off fantasy fights to the highest bidder. And of course, always reminding everyone how he's building wealth.
Me and my buddy got it clear.
We said as long as it's 10 or 20, no problem. Anything less, can't be less than 10, because then we're struggling for money.
I had to show Eddie some of the account. Eddie, hold on.
Imagine how much money Floyd Mayweather would have made if I was his promoter back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
But when Eddie was,
Two hungry fuckers for money.
Don't forget how all of this affects his reputation. Every time Floyd fights an influencer, he cheapens the weight of his legacy. When he steps into the ring not for pride, competition, or greatness, but for clout and cash, he only gives his critics more ammunition. When guys like James Toney say Floyd would have gotten washed in the 90s, more people start agreeing. When Logan Paul calls him out for dodging payment, more people listen. When fans start laughing at the idea of a Floyd versus Rio Ferdinand fight, the illusion begins to crack.
Crazy that everybody keep asking me, why you not coming back to fight? Why you not coming back to fight? So I look at the fight game, I said, okay. I said, you know, fighters fighting, they make 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 7 million. Some may make 10 or 20 million. But I'm doing exhibitions and I'm making 20, 25 million, 100 million for exhibitions. So why would I come back and fight?
Not every criticism comes from envy, and not every doubt stems from hate. Sometimes, it's just the world trying to get through to you before it's too late. Floyd Mayweather has always been a man of control. He controls the tempo, the contracts, the narratives. But lately, that control seems to be slipping when multiple influential voices, people who usually don't agree on anything, start raising the same alarm. You have to stop and consider, maybe they're not just talking. Maybe they're trying to save him from himself. Floyd wants the world to respect his hustle, and maybe he deserves that. His rise was unprecedented, and his discipline in the ring is unmatched.
Just another ordinary day, chilling in an EWB Rolls Royce. For those that don't know what an EWB is, that's an extended wheelbase Rolls Royce. I need the leg room. I know I ain't that tall.
But there's a difference between hustle and hustle fatigue, between ambition and obsession,